Meghan Markle has cancelled several planned appearances in New York that had been set for the day after Queen Elizabeth's likely funeral date, as the royal family enters the official mourning for the monarch. Meghan had been scheduled to appear on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon on September the 20th, the same day she and Prince Harry planned to visit the UN General Assembly in Manhattan. Both appearances have now been nixed, and Markle plans to delay releasing the next episode of her podcast Archetypes, which had been set for release next Tuesday on Spotify. Meghan's probably fuming that she can't make those appearances now. Did she want to give a speech at the UN this time around? And someone pointed out that her Fallon appearance was maybe a day from William and Catherine's Earthshot appearance. Coming back to the UK on a fake royal tour, media coverage on the new podcast and their visits to charities, expensive outfits, they thought they were back to reinventing their waning brand. They almost thought they got their lost royal lustre back. But our beloved HMTQ, in one fell swoop, she changed the whole narrative around. We lost her, but in the end she won. The Sussex brand is doomed. Future episodes of the podcast will be heavily criticised if they mention any truth bombs. Spotify is done with them. They won't get much material for their Netflix documentary, as we will focus on HMTQ's funeral and King Charles's coronation. Most of all, the public is now aware of how the Harkles treated the Queen. They were in the country, knew she was unwell, and did not visit her until the situation was dire. And even then, Has-Been couldn't meet his grandmother for the last time. The BRF was holding back for the Queen, but now the gloves are off. Charles and William will fight back. She got barred from going to Balmoral, and she knows she'll be booed if she goes to any public service at Westminster. Royal expert Kinsey Schofield thinks the Sussexes have created a compromising situation, threatening to use whatever their in-laws say against them in a court of Spotify or Netflix. Schofield said, "My contacts at Windsor have told me that the royal family does not trust Harry and Meghan, does not want to put themselves in a compromising situation. Anything they say can and will be used against them in a court of Spotify or Netflix." By continuing to talk, Meghan has managed to create a divide bigger than Versailles, the To Die For daily podcast host added. The couple have been accused of using their recent bout of philanthropy to monetize their brand by royal experts including Schofield, who said earlier this week that there are a lot of expectations from Spotify and Netflix, so they've got content that they have to create. I do wonder if the motivation ultimately is to create content and to continue to elevate themselves, she continued. They're visiting because they have to have the connection to the royal family to continue to monetize their brand. But she added that Netflix and Spotify may not be the only reasons for the couple's return, and stressed that they were likely genuinely happy to be back on British soil. "I do think that this trip is something that perhaps Meghan was excited about," she said. "I think this is one of those cases where really Meghan is excited about going to the UK because this is her time to shine."